Hey, what's up, gang? Welcome back. I'm out here at the range today. I gotta do a little test. I shot that mile match this past weekend. It was a blast, pardon the pun, but that was a really cool shoot. I was with a super solid group of dudes too. My buddy Jason, my buddy Keith Cole. Thanks for the help throughout the day, Keith. I do appreciate that. He's got a channel. I'm gonna link it below. He needs some subscribers. Check him out. He's working on a 25 by 47. He's got a lot of stuff on there about that project. But we got out there, and my hope was, now if you recall last week, I was in this dilemma. Do I come out here and zero my Kestrel or do I load? Well, that next day poured down rain, so I spent the day loading versus calibrating my Kestrel. So when I got to the range, I was thinking, man, hopefully that first stage, I could be able to tell where I'm hitting and calibrate my Kestrel accordingly. It just so happens our first stage was the mile shoot. So I really hadn't a clue of where I was going or where I was hitting, unfortunately. And lo and behold, the second stage was 1,500 yards. And I couldn't see well enough to calibrate my Kestrel. The stage after that was 1,300 yards. I did not hit the mile target. Had blinkers on it, man. I kept throwing them out there, hoping that blinker would go off. I think I was 5 for 10 on the 1,500 and 6 for 10 at the 1,300 target. The next set of targets started at 350. I was like, perfect. I'm gonna be able to see where this is hitting, calibrate my Kestrel, go from there. Well, I get up there and it's freaking low off the target. A lot. And so I was kind of perplexed. It was messed up because when I got there, the week before I was out here shooting, I'd sighted this in, but I didn't set a zero stop on it. Just in a hurry, had other things on my mind. I had a Biden moment after I shot a mile.
There's a lot you can do in terms of cutting. Tremendous amount of things you can cut. Let me be precise. Tremendous amount of things you can do, not cut.
I dialed this thing 22 mil up. And so when I started counting back down, I got to 22 and it was on 3 mil, which didn't make any sense. So I went ahead and dialed it to 0. So I was kind of questioning myself and doubting what had gone on. Anyway, after that stage with the 350 target, I hopped out of it while other people were shooting. I went to the 0 range and I was a mil low from the 0 I had earlier that day. I went ahead and shot. I went back to the 0 range at some point. It was low again. There's something moving on this. It's got to be. Something is not right. Either my rings, which I just tightened last week, the base and the rings, and verified those were good, or this scope isn't holding 0 anymore. I'll have to send that back. Today, I haven't touched it since the match on Saturday. The very last stage. Now, if I knew how this worked, I would have shot my 75-yard challenge right after I left the 0 range. But I didn't. I waited until the end of the match. I went to go shoot my 75-yard challenge. I have no idea where it hit at 75 yards. So not only did I not have a calibrated Kestrel, I had a scope that was moving, I think. Nevertheless, it was a really good time. You weren't climbing on rocks and hanging out of windows and doing all that crazy stuff that you sometimes get in the middle of on a PRS match. You're just laying prone, shooting at distance. And that's what I like to do quite a bit. And it was really fun. I enjoyed it. Another bummer, I had that metal mag in this thing note to self, and for all you viewers out there, practice how you're gonna be shooting. We were out here and I had these loaded 15 thou off the lands. It was dragging the front of that mag, and I bumped them back to 25 thou off the lands. I'm like, they're not dragging the mag. Problem being was, now typically when I'm out here shooting, I'm loading 3 or 5 at a time, right? Problem was, when you loaded that mag with 10, every 4th or 5th, it would pop up and jam, which sucked, man. You get in a rhythm shooting, you're down there watching your bullets and your target, you're like, I got it, and you go dink, and you got one that stovepipes in your chamber there. That sucks, throws you off. So I was battling some gremlins. I forgot that Kenny had sent this magazine with the gun. It does not work with these longer loaded bullets. So it is what it is. I'm gonna toss this in here. I'm gonna hand feed him. Speaking of hand feeding, my buddy Keith, dude, he must have been running into that same issue of having bullets loaded long and not feeding the mag. He sat there with a bag of bullets on each stage and hand loaded those as he shot. He never timed out, and he never came short of getting through his 10 shots. Pretty impressive, Keith. Thumbs up on that, my friend. Let's see where this hits. Huh, it's on the target dot. So it must have not have moved the second time. Like I said, I re-zeroed this twice on the line on Saturday, 2 different times. So I've switched to these 135 grain Bergers. I typically shoot the 133s. I ran out of the 133s. I had some 135s because that's all I got left. What I'm going to do today, I've loaded up some different powder charges of H4350. I don't have the chrono out yet because I'm not going to mess with that. If one of these shoot well, then we'll come back and see what the numbers are on it. I'm just going to go with groups today versus anything else. And then we're going to take this 135 at distance and shoot a group at 420 yards and see how it groups compared to that 133. I wanted to do that last week and didn't have the chance to. What we have here today is 38 grains of H4350, 38.5, and 39. Let's start off with this 38 grain, see what kind of groups it shoots. The 39 grain load is what I use with that 133 grain Berger if I'm shooting a match that's 600 yards in. Shoots really well, and it gives me a velocity of about, if I recall correctly, 2750, more or less. See what this 38 grain does with this 135 grain Berger. I'm going to go top left. The first shot was low, and now the other 3 have grouped up pretty nicely. Yep, not a bad little group. I don't trust this scope or this mount. I'm not sure which it is. When I got to the match, I warmed up and zeroed in. I was a mil low, so I had to readjust my scope at sight in, and then in the middle of that match I left and confirmed 0, and I was a mil low on that. So once I get some funds available, I'm going to switch out these mounts and see if that's it. And if that doesn't fix the problem, I'm sending the scope back to tracked. Right now it seems to be shooting okay. I was shooting this KYL rack at 500 yards, and I hit the 2-inch target at 500 yards with this thing. It flipped the target up, and the target got stuck. Someone in my group goes, shoot the post that it's hanging on. I'm assuming that post was inch and a half, I don't know. So I got up there and cracked the post. Didn't unflip it though, it stayed stuck. So it has its moments of extreme accuracy, and then sometimes you scratch your head on it. I don't know. It's weird. All right. So this is 38.5. Top right. I'm pleased to say we didn't have the half-inch of rain it was calling for during that match.
Thank you, Ron, and happy St. Patrick's Day to all of our Native American friends. On the big map, where's my map? It's just green.
No, there's a map there. Look at the monitor.
Right? Oh, God. Ron, where's my legs? Where are my legs?
Your legs are there.
I don't have any legs, Ron. I don't even know how I'm standing up.
No.
I left the house and it was sprinkling. I'm like, oh man. By the time I got there, it was dry and it stayed dry the rest of the day. It was breezy though. We had about a sustained 12, 15. I never really felt the 30-mile-an-hour gust that they called for. Not to say it wasn't happening out in the field a mile away or half a mile away or whatever, but turned out to be a nice day to shoot. And I want to show you a quick little tip, something that I use for marking my turret. I get a bunch of different yardages and different targets. You want to be sure to have your turret marked so you can just quickly dial versus looking at a card. Now I take this card more so for what I'm shooting in what order. There's the little cards that slip in there, but I don't use those anymore. I had a piece of laminated paper that I wrote on, but then I realized you could just use this plastic just the same. It's not a dry erase marker. It's liquid chalk. Once you're done, just wipe it right off. Lick your finger a little bit. I got all kinds of chalk on my finger. But there you go. It comes off real easy. On this card, same deal. This is a metallic liquid chalk marker. Okay, I wanted to dial at 1.5. Put a little mark there. And say my next dial was 3.2. It's got a chisel tip on it. Real easy to get accurate on there. There's 3.2. Say the next one was 4.7. So there's your dials. So when I keep track of what order of the targets I'm shooting, I'm going to put pig, coyote, yote. Or if I'm going order, I'm going to go near to far, near to far, near, far, near, far, near, or whatever. If you've never shot PRS before, that's not going to make any sense to you, but if you have, then you know what I'm talking about. So I can have my dope marked on my turret in the order in which I shoot it right there. Just a quick little tip for you, really easy. Chalk marker. Put a link to my Amazon store in the description below. It's a good 5-shot group. Man, this 25 Creed hammers. It really does. I love it. No doubt in my mind it could have gone a mile last weekend. I just wasn't prepared for it. Let's shoot this 39 grain. We're gonna go center left target. Oh yeah. Two touching. See if it holds it together. No, damn it. Went left. Let's go down and take a look. Got the big beast today. Changing the tie rods on that Armax. So I got it apart a little bit. All right, there's the 38 grain group, 38.5, and then the 39. There's my confirmation warm-up shot. Seemed to be on, man. I don't know. It's weird. You have to re-zero the rifle twice in one day at a match. You think it's still off. You come out here, Put your first shot on. If any of y'all out there have any ideas what's going on, let me know. Comment below. Just bizarre. Oh, my knees. My knees. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this table back. We're gonna shoot this at 420 yards and see what kind of group I get with this 135 and compare it to the group I got with the 133. All right, got funky wind. I got it coming at my face, then it'll change and be coming over my left shoulder. So it's coming from the south, and then I'll switch and come from the east. Kestrel says 1.57. I'm gonna go 1.6 on this. It says left 0.07. I'm gonna hold a 10th left. There is one shot on the target at about 7 o'clock from the other day. I'll buzz you down there, we'll take a look at it. And then I'll throw some footage in from a week and a half ago when I was shooting this 133. See how the group with the 135 compares to 133 at distance. I'm gonna aim 2/10 left. We'll go a click up. That's down 7 o'clock by the other one. I'm gonna hold straight up too. See if I can get a clean part of the plate here in a group.
Missed the top.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
That's weird, my electronic level says that's level. Doesn't feel level. And the bubble, there's level on the bubble. There's a level with electronics. What the fuck's that all about? We're gonna go with the bubble. We're gonna hold straight up on the plate. I'll dial it up a click. That's low right. Holding straight up at the dot. Going 2 clicks up from where I started. And it's still grouping at like 4 o'clock. So we're just gonna go with it. Now that one's right by the dot. Let's see if I can put a group together right by the dot. And that's getting there quick. Wind is in my face. Now the bubble and the electronics are staying level. It's so weird. Let's go down and have a peek at our 420 group. All right, there was one already on it. And then I shot 1, 2, 3. That's holding 2/10 left. I dialed up 2, held straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that one that wind must have died or something that hit next to the target dot. And there's the rest of my group. Clip the plate there. A 133 at distance is, you know, overall it's the same, but I got a nice little 3-shot group there, nice little 3-shot group there. What I need to do is come out with like 10, put a big plate out here, paint it up fresh, do a 10-shot group and 10-shot group with each one of those bullets. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, 3-shot group at 420. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate your time. As always, stay free.
Look, I'm not a young guy. That's no secret. Anyway.
That's all, folks.